Kawawmat, in this video, we will discuss how to write direct and indirect proof. So, our objectives, we will differentiate the ways. So, meron tayong informal or formal and the types of proof. So, ito, ano ba yung mga types? Meron tayong direct and indirect. So, mamaya ipapakita natin yan. Also, we will write formal arguments as a series of statements that make up a proof. So, both direct and indirect. So, dito sa objective number 2 natin, so I will give you an examples. Okay. So, let us define first. So, ano ba ang topic natin dito? So, let us define what is a proof. Okay. So, a proof, it is a logical argument in which each statement that you make is backed up by a statement that is accepted as true. So, kumbaga parang sa trial, 'di ba, na bago mapatunayan na yung accused, dapat meron tayong maipresent na ebidensya. Okay? Na basis o katibayan o back up dun sa statement. Okay? Sa statement na ginawa mo. Okay? Yung mga backup na yon, dapat yun ang gagamitin mo as a proof dun sa statement na kinreate mo. Okay. So, look at these types of proof. So, I have here a table para mas madali nating maintindihan ang classification, the ways, and the types of proof. Okay? So, under direct, so meron tayong dalawang types. Okay? Meron tayong direct and indirect. So, ano bang pagkakaiba nitong dalawa? So, mamaya, ipapakita natin sa mga examples natin. So, under direct proof, dito papasok si informal at si formal. Okay? So, sa direct proof, papasok si informal kung saan meron tayo o ginagamitan ito ng paragraph form. Okay? Now, under formal, direct proof, dito papasok yung two-column proof and flowchart form. Okay? Bakit formal? Kasi dito sa formal, yung two-column, dito tayo mas, itong two-column, ito yung familiar tayo. Ito yung madalas ginagamit. Okay? So, ito yung madalas ginagamit kapag meron tayong proving, nagpo-prove tayo. Now, so informal kasi itong paragraph, so basta nilagay lang siya, naka-paragraph siya, tuloy-tuloy, okay? And then itong formal, meron tayong two-column and flowchart. So this is formal kasi na organized, okay? Step by step, makikita nyo yung process, okay? Now, under indirect proof, dito papasok or this is the kind of proof by contradiction. So ito yung indirect proof, okay? So, tingnan nyo ulit yung table. We have two types of proof, direct proof and indirect proof. Under direct proof, we have informal, which is the paragraph form, and for formal, we have the two-column form and the flowchart form. So, let's start. So, let's start with how do we write a proof. Okay? So, in planning and writing a proof, you must follow these steps. So, ito dapat yung susundin natin para hindi tayo maligaw. Okay? Para nasa tamang landas yung paggawa natin. Kasi minsan, actually, this is one of the difficult topics. Okay? Ito yung isa sa pinakamahirap na topic sa grade 8 kasi magkakaiba-iba yung sagot Minsan, nagkakaiba-iba yung sagot natin. Pag nag-compare tayo ng answers, iba-iba. Pero, pare-pareho yung ating conclusion, yung pinrove natin. Okay? So, step 1, you have to read and understand the theorem. So, kapag binigyan kayo ng theorem, okay, step 1, dapat, hindi lang theorem lahat ng math concepts, lahat ng mga math lessons, okay? Postulates, theorems, dapat alam po natin yan. Kasi pagdating sa proving, yan po ang gagamitin mo as proof. Okay? Kumbaga, ebidensya para mapatunayan mo that the given conclusion is true. Okay? So, step 1, you have to read and understand the theorem. Now, after reading and understanding the theorem, Step 2, you have to draw a figure and label the parts correctly. So, dito sa step 2, we have to draw. Okay? Kailangan. Bakit? Kasi mas madali nating maintindihan ang pag-prove kung meron tayong nakikita. Okay? Kung meron tayong nakikita na picture dyan, na illustration, mas madali nating makikita. Halimbawa, gumagawa tayo ng statements and then hahanapin natin yung reason, babalik-balikan mo yung figure mo eh. Doon ka titingin eh. Okay? Mahirap mag-prove na ang illustrations ay nasa isip mo lang. So, i-drawing mo yan. Okay? And then step 3, state the hypothesis as given and the conclusion as proof. Now, kapag binigyan tayo ng statement, okay? Pag binigyan po tayo ng statement, kung natatandaan ninyo, nag-discuss tayo ng if-then statements, rewriting the statement into if-then form. Bakit importante yon? Kasi dito, sa proving, dapat alam mo kung ano ang hypothesis at conclusion mo. Bakit? Kung ano ang hypothesis, yun po ang given. Kung ano ang conclusion, yun po ang ipoprove natin. Okay. And then step 4, write the proof which consists of statements and the reason. So, etong step 4, eto na po yung meron na tayong mga proof, eto na yung meron na tayong proof na kung saan meron siyang statement. So, magbibigay ka ng statement. So, lahat ng ilalagay mo dyan na statement, lahat ng, kumbaga, sasabihin mo, dapat meron kang backup. Meron kang parang supporting, kumbaga, supporting documents. Okay? So, kapag may sinabi ka, dapat may supporting documents ka. So, yun yung statement, dapat may dahilan. So, dito papasok yung mga definitions, theorem, postulate. Okay? So, let's start. So, let's start with the informal proof. Okay? So, this is under direct. Okay? So, in informal proof, let me show you how to write direct proof in informal way using the paragraph form. So, ito po yung ating ipoproof. Complements of congruent angles are congruent. Okay? So, steps in proving, andito po si 1 to 4, yung 4 mamaya sa next slide natin. So, first, read and understand the problem. Okay? I mean the theorem. Okay? So, given the statement, okay, itong theorem natin, you have to rewrite this or kailangan ma-identify mo yung hypothesis mo and the conclusion. So, paano? Mas madali kung isusulat mo siya into if-then form. Okay? So, if the angles are complements of congruent angles, then the angles are congruent. Okay? So, etong if the angles are complements of congruent angles, this is your hypothesis. So, this is your given. Then, the angles are congruent, this is your conclusion. So, this will be your, your conclusion. So, ito po yung ipoprove po natin. Okay? Lagi pong ganon. When we are writing proof, the hypothesis is always your given, and the conclusion is always ito yung hahanapan natin ng proof. Okay? So, ito yung ipoprove po natin, your conclusion. So, next, draw and figure and label the parts correctly. So, given the theorem and then meron ka ng step 1 into if-then form, i-drawing mo siya, illustrate mo. Okay? So, complements of congruent angles are congruent. So, eto po, congruent ito. Okay? Congruent sila. Eto rin, congruent daw. So, complements of congruent angles are congruent. So, eto po, okay, so ilagay na nga natin. Okay, in this figure, angle B and angle D are congruent angles. Okay? While angle A and angle C are their respective complements. Now, kailangan ma-prove natin. So, dito, kailangan ma-prove natin. So, ito yung given natin, ha? So, kapag nag-drawing ka, nag-illustrate ka, makakabuo ka ng statement, eh. Okay? Based dun sa iyong illustrations. Na kung saan, pwede ka na dito magsimula as your given. Okay? Saan mo to nakuha? Dito, sa first statement mo. Okay? Dito po sa iyong hypothesis. So, ito na po. So, angle B is congruent to angle D. Saan ko to kinuha? Ito po siya yung given. Saan to tayo nag-base dito? Dito po sa hypothesis. Okay? So, tatandaan na ang hypothesis is always your given and the conclusion is always yung, yung statement na ipoprove natin. Okay? So, based pa rin dito sa ating illustration and your hypothesis. So, angle A is a complement of angle B and angle C is a complement of angle D. Okay. Paano natin mapapatunayan since yung A at C daw are respective complements? Ito daw si A at si B, complement din siya ng isa't isa. And then si C ay complement naman ni D. Okay. So, ang ipoprove natin that angle A is congruent to angle C. Okay. So, tatandaan na kapag, para masabi natin na congruent sila, they must have the same measure. So, we cannot say that they are congruent if they do not have the same measure. So, let's proceed. Okay, so ito yung kanina. So, we will write the proof consists of statements and reason, but in paragraph form. Okay, that's why it is called informal kasi dire-diretso lang siya. Okay, so this is our proof. Since the sum of complementary angles is always, so we all know that the sum of complementary angles is always 90 degrees. Okay, and by transitive property of equality or the TPE, we can say that the sum of the measure of each pair of angles are equal. So, diba, meron tayong yung the sum of the measures of angle A and B is equal to the sum of the measures of your angle C and angle D. Okay, so ito po yung ating given kanina. Ito yung ating the sum of the measure of each pair of angles are equal. Okay, so yung angle A is the sum of the angle A and B, the measures of angle A and B is equal to the sum of the measures of angle C and D. So, pag inad mo raw to, equal siya dito. Okay? So, given that angle B and angle D are congruent angles, so, by definition of congruence, their measures are, so, kung by definition of congruence, so, kung congruent sila, therefore, ang measure nila ay equal. So, sabi ko nga, kapag we cannot say that the angles are congruent if they do not have the same measures. So, dapat pareho sila ng measures bago natin masabing congruent sila. Okay? So, next, by substitution, okay, we can substitute the measure of angle D by the measure of angle B. So, balikan natin ito. Ito yung given natin kanina. Ito. So, ito po yun. So, isa-substitute natin the measure of angle D dun sa B. Okay. So, AB, ito siya, AB, and then C, ito. So, ito, i-replace natin ng measure of angle B. So, lalagay natin siya dito by substitution. Okay. Now, by subtraction property of equality, we can now eliminate the measure of angle B from the equation. So, pag in-eliminate natin ito, inalis natin si angle B dito, at dito, anong naiwan? Okay, ulitin ko ha, inalis natin ito, at ito. So, ano na lang naiwan? The measure of angle A is equal to the measure of angle C. Okay? So, since equal sila, sabi ko nga, pag equal sila, pag the measures are equal, then we can say that they are congruent. Okay, since na by subtraction property of equality, they are equal, therefore, by definition of congruence, this means that angle A is congruent to angle C. Okay? Next, let's have the two-column proof under direct proof pa rin, but this time, formal proof na tayo. So, ito medyo organized na siya. Okay? Organized talaga. Okay. So, I have here, so ang ipoprove po natin, vertical angles are congruent. Okay? So, read and understand the problem. So, you may rewrite the given statement into if-then form. So, if the angles are vertical, then the angles are congruent. Okay. So, draw a figure and label the parts correctly. So, ito po yung figure natin. Okay? In this figure, so ito yung ating statement. In this figure, line segment PE and line segment RV is intersects at point O. So, si PE daw at si RV nag-intersect sila sa point O. Ito si O. So, dito sila. Ito yung point of intersection. While angle 1, this is your angle 1, and angle 2 are vertical angles. Okay. Now, this is your hypothesis. So, this is your given. This is your conclusion. So, ito po ang ipoprove po natin. Okay. So, ang ipoprove po natin, ito po. So, ilagay po natin ang given natin. Ano-ano yung mga given natin? PE intersects RV at point O. And then another given, we have angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. So, we have to prove that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Kasi ito po siya. The angles daw are congruent. Kung vertical daw sila, ang angles daw congruent. So, since ang sabi dito sa statement natin, si angle 1 at angle 2 ay vertical, so, ang ipoprove natin, dapat congruent sila based dito sa ating theorem. Okay? So, angle 1, angle 2, since vertical angle, sabi dito, that is your given. So, dapat ma-prove natin, since vertical sila, dapat congruent sila. Okay, so let's proceed. So, this is our given. So, write the proof consists of statements and reasons. So, pag sinabing 2-column proof, meron ka ditong, syempre, 2 column. Okay. So, ito po yung ating tinatawag na 2-column proof. And this is one of the examples of formal proof under direct. Okay. Direct proof. Now, so, kadalasan, ang nilalagay natin, most of the time, okay, ang nilalagay po natin dito sa number 1 is yung given. Lagi pong ganyan, okay? Kapag nagpo-prove po tayo, dapat step by step po yan. Hindi po pwedeng kung saan mo gustong ilagay si given, doon mo gusto, sa number 3, doon mo siya ilalagay. Hindi po, step by step, okay? Hanggang sa pagdudugtong-dugtungin mo siya, mapoprove mo itong last statement mo, itong conclusion mo. Okay. So, our given, so lahat ng nakalagay dito, ilagay mo dyan. So, that is your given. Next, hanap ka ng way, hanap ka ng iba't ibang theorem, postulate, or definition na magli-lead sa'yo doon sa iyong angle 1 is congruent to angle 2 para ma-prove natin yon. So, ano-ano yon? So, pwedeng ito. Angle 1 and angle 3 form a linear pair. So, angle 1 and angle 3 form a linear pair. Also, angle 2 and angle 3. So, these two forms a linear pair. Ganun din po ito. Okay? So, paano mo nasabi na nag-form sila ng linear pair? Okay, bakit? Anong pinanghahawakan mo or anong proof mo? Anong reason mo? By definition of linear pair. Okay. So, bakit yan? Bakit po, ma'am? Bakit by definition of linear pair? Alam naman natin that the linear pair is adjacent. Okay? Adjacent to each other. At the same time, dapat 180 po ang kanilang measures, yung sum of measures nila of the angles. Okay? So, by definition of linear pair, pwede mo sabihin that this statement is true. Okay? Next, angle 1 and angle 3 are supplementary. Angle 2 and angle 3 are also supplementary. So, angle 1 and angle 3 are supplementary and angle 2 and angle 3 are supplementary. Now, pwede mo siyang i-connect dun sa previous statement at reason mo. Okay, so this is, if two angles form a linear pair, then the angles are supplementary. Since nabanggit mo dito sa statement mo na si angle 1 and angle 3 and angle 2 and angle 3 forms a linear pair, ibig sabihin, by definition of linear pair, ibig sabihin kung linear pair sila, then they are supplementary. Okay? So, nakabuo ka dito, ay linear pair siya dito. So, ibig sabihin kung linear pair, supplementary. Pwede mo yun ilagay sa susunod mong statement. Okay? Kaya ang magiging reason mo dyan, if two angles form a linear pair, then the angles are supplementary or then they are supplementary. Okay? So, kaya sabi ko dapat sunod-sunod. Kung pwede mong i-connect yung next mong statement and reasons dun sa previous statement and reasons mo. Okay? Next, angle 1 is a supplement of angle 3. Okay? So, since supplementary sila, edi supplement sila ng isa't isa. Okay? And then, angle 2 is a supplement of angle 3. Now, ano ba ibig sabihin ng supplement? Ibig sabihin, supplement. Ang sum nilang dalawa ay 180. So, para makabuo si angle 3 ng 180, si angle 2 ang bubuo nun. Kaya, supplement. Okay? So, angle 2 and angle 3 is, angle 1 is a supplement of angle 3. Angle 2 is a supplement of angle 3. Bakit? Kasi 'di ba dito binanggit mo na supplementary sila. Therefore, angle 1 is a supplement of angle 3. Also, angle 2 is a supplement of angle 3. So, bakit mo nasabi ito? Kaya connect siya. Okay? Okay, so we have the definition of supplement of an angle. So, this is by the definition of the supplement of an angle. So, given these statements and reasons, so meron tayong mga ebidensya, okay? So, can we prove now that angle 1 is congruent to angle 2? Yes. By, okay, supplements of the same angles are congruent. So, since pinalabas mo dito na congruent sila, okay, therefore, yung supplement nila ay also congruent. So, supplement ng same angles are also congruent. Next, let's have the flowchart form. So, this is another way of writing proof under direct proof. Okay, so flowchart, ibig sabihin parang meron tayo ditong diagram. Okay? And then the sum of the measures of the angles of a triangle is 180 degrees. So read and understand the theorem. If there are 3 angles in a triangle, the sum of these measures is 180. So mag-drawing tayo, mag-illustrate tayo. So magpakita ka ng isang triangle na merong 3 angles. Bakit? Based dito. Okay? Na may 3 angles. So, ito dong 3 na to, angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, ang sum daw po nito is 180. Okay? So, yun po ang ipoprove natin. Kailangan ma-prove natin na pag pinag-add natin itong 3, dapat 180 ang result. Okay? So, this is our given. In this figure, angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 are the 3 angles of triangle ECQ. Ito po siya. Now, we have line MC. So, meron tayong line na nilagay dito. Ito si MC. Okay, ito po yung line natin. Line MC is constructed parallel to line segment EQ. So, ito po yung EQ natin. Okay, pag sinabing parallel, ito, same distance sila. Okay, same distance. Okay, using the parallel postulate that states, through a given point, not on the given line, you can draw exactly one line that is parallel to the given line. So, para daw makapag-create tayo ng parallel lines, gagawa ka ng line na wala doon sa isang line mo. Okay? So, let us state the hypothesis as given and the conclusion as proved. So, ito po yung hypothesis. So, ito po given. Lagi pong ganon. And then, ito pong ating conclusion. Ito po yung prove natin. Ipo-prove. Okay. So, our given, ito lang po. Lagi lang po natin yan dito kinukuha. So, angle 1, angle 2, and angle 3 are the 3 angles of triangle ECQ. And then, we will prove that this 3 has a sum of 180. So, kailangan ma-prove natin siya. So, let's start. Okay, so this is our given a while ago. This is the illustration. Okay, so ito po siya. So pag flowchart, it is like a diagram. Okay, so as you can see, naka-diagram siya, pero organized pa rin. Okay, that's why it's formal. Kasi, kumbaga naka-ano lang siya, gumamit siya ng diagram, hindi kagaya sa 2-column, naka-linya. Ito, by diagram naman. Pero ganun pa rin. Meron siyang statement, meron siyang proof. Okay? So, angle 1, angle 2, and 3 of triangle ECQ. Ito siya. So, this is given. Kasi nandun, no? Next. So, construct. So, anong ginawa mong susunod? Nag-construct ka. Okay. Construct line MC parallel to line segment EQ. So, this is by parallel postulate. So, nabanggit na natin yan kanina. Now, from here, ginamit mo yung alternate interior concept ng ating parallel lines. Yun po. So, which is angle 1 is congruent to angle 4. Angle 3 is congruent to angle 5. So, eto po siya. After this, we can come up that the measure of angle 4 ay the sum of the measure of angle 4 and 2 is equal to the measure of angle MCQ. So, this is by angle addition postulate. So, tingnan natin yung figure, ha. Okay. So, the measure of angle 4, this is your angle 4. And then, this is your angle 2. So, pag pinagsama mo ito yung angle 4 mo, ito naman yung angle 2. So, pag pinagsama mo yan, ito siya, MCQ. MCQ. Nasa loob niya si angle 4 at angle 2. Kaya, angle addition postulate. Okay. Now, from here, angle MCQ and angle 5 are supplementary. So, that is the supplement postulate. Now, angle 1, the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 4. And the measure of angle 3 is equal to the measure of angle 5. Okay, tingnan natin yung figure. The measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 4 and 3 sa 5. So, ano kaya ito? So, dito po papasok ang definition of congruence. And then from here, the measure of angle 4, so dito po papasok ang substitution. Ano po yung sinubstitute natin dito? Okay. So, di ba kanina, bakit siya substitution? Kasi di ba po kanina, we have the measure of angle MCQ plus the measure of angle 5 is equal to 180. Saan ko kinuha itong 180? Kasi based dito tayo nanggaling, angle MCQ and angle 5 are supplementary. Pag sinabing supplementary, 180. Kaya meron tayo nito. So, this is the definition of supplementary angles. Now, from here, meron ako ditong angle 4, the measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 and measure of angle 5 is equal to 180. So, from this statement, bakit siya naging ganito? So, ang sabi dito, by substitution property, ano yung sinubstitute natin? Ano yung nireplace natin? Eto po, balik ka dito. Okay, balik po tayo dito. Ang naiwan lang po is yung measure of angle 5, right? Nawala si MCQ. Napalitan siya ng 4 at 2. Okay, saan natin kinuha tong 4 at 2? Yung MCQ, ginawa natin 4 at 2. Ito po siya. Diba kanina? The measure of angle 4 plus the measure of angle 2 is equal to the measure of MCQ. So, therefore, etong dalawa ay katumbas nito. So, ito, pwede mo siyang gawing ganito. Okay? By replacement or substitution property. Okay? So, we can come up now with ayun. So, the measure of angle 1 plus the measure of angle 2 plus the measure of angle 3 is equal to 180. So, eto na po siya. Okay? By substitution property. Okay. So, let's have the last one, the indirect proof. So, this is one type of proof by contradiction. Okay? So, an indirect proof is usually written in paragraph form. So, nakaparagraph lang siya, din siya. Ang pinagkaiba niya lang dun sa kaninang example natin sa direct proof, 'di ba? Yung nakaparagraph form din, 'di ba? Pag paragraph form, direct proof 'yon. Pero bakit ito under siya ng indirect proof? Kasi this is a proof by contradiction. So, nakaparagraph pa, but there yung proving natin, yung proof natin, may contradiction. So, this is an example of indirect proof. Okay, so we have here illustrative example. So, given M is not parallel to N. So, angle 1, we will prove that angle 1 is not congruent to angle 3. Okay, so opposite. The opposite of the statement to be proven is assumed true until the assumption leads to a contradiction. Okay, so ito, as you can see, puro not tayo dito. Kasi opposite. Okay, contradiction. Okay, so not parallel, not congruent. So, assume that, so ano dito? Okay, ito po yung ating figure. Assume that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Okay? So, since by contradiction tayo, ayan po. As you can see, from not, naging congruent. Okay? Now, angle 1 and angle 3 are corresponding angles. So, ito po, corresponding angles. Kapag, I know nung grade 7 na-discuss po ang transversal. Okay? Parallel lines cut by transversal. So, isa ito sa mga, ano tawag nito? Kapag meron tayong parallel lines cut by transversal, so ito pong angle 1 and angle 3 are examples of corresponding angles. Properties. Alright, so, corresponding angles is one of the properties of parallel lines. Okay? So, given this, assume that angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. So, kasi nga, yung properties ng parallel lines natin. Okay? Since angle 1 and angle 3 are corresponding angles, then we can say that they are congruent. I mean, we can assume, rather. If two lines are cut by a transversal, so that corresponding angles are congruent, the lines are, parallel. Okay? So, kapag meron tayong dalawang lines na kinat by a transversal, so alam ko na topic ito ng grade 7. So, recall natin yon. Okay? So, kapag ang lines natin ay kinat ng transversal, ang lines natin doon ay parallel. Okay? So, this means that M is parallel to N. However, this contradicts the given statement. Ano yung statement? Yung given natin. Okay? So, since the assumption leads to a contradiction, the assumption must be false. So, therefore, angle 1 is not congruent to angle 3. So, as you can see, yung ating statement, ating proof is opposite of the statement to be proven, which is assumed true until the assumptions leads to a contradiction. So, magbibigay ka ng mga statements ito, na kukontrahin mo siya, okay? Kaya, ito kasi ang ipoprove natin dyan. Okay? So, pwede kang gumamit ng mga, ayan nga, since this is an example of parallel lines cut by transversal, pwede mo siyang gamitin. Okay? So, once again, thank you to Matsaya YouTube channel for sharing this PowerPoint presentations. Thank you to Sir Pareñas, one of the math teachers of one of the schools in Manila. So, thank you po sa Matsaya TV and also to Sir Pareñas. Please do subscribe to his YouTube channel. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you learned something. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell para updated kayo for more video tutorials. This is your guide in learning your math lessons, your Wow Math channel.